Hi, I'm Tomi Obaro, Senior Culture Editor here at BuzzFeed News, and this is The Sit Down. I'm here with Angie Thomas, New York Times bestselling author of The Hate You Give and On the Come Up. Hi, welcome. Hi. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk about your second book, which is out. Congratulations.
Thank you.
After such a successful debut novel, what did you do, or why did you decide to explore what you did in the second book?
You know, for me, it was important to go back to the neighborhood of Garden Heights. On the Come Up isn't a sequel or a spinoff to The Hate You Give, but it is set in the same neighborhood. And I wanted to return there and see what it's like for a young person there now, after the fact, after everything that happened in The Hate You Give. You know, how does a young person there operate? How do they continue to use their voice? So it felt fitting to do a hip-hop story there, too. You know, just thinking of the origins of hip-hop and how it started in the Bronx after such chaos and everything. It felt fitting that I go back to the neighborhood after such chaos and start this hip-hop story. So I wanted to speak to young people and show them how using their voice, even in the midst of people criticizing how they do it, is still important.
Okay, great. So let's talk more about the protagonist of this book, Bree. How is she different from Star, who's the protagonist in your first book?
You know, it was really important for me to show how different they are because, you know, people assume two black girls from the same neighborhood, they're going to be just alike. And that is so far from the truth. So Bree is a little more outspoken than Star. She's a little more impulsive than Star. She speaks from her heart immediately and doesn't really care about what people think. And then also she's often criticized for how she speaks, and she's often viewed as someone she's not. She's often viewed as being kind of harsh and an angry black girl and all of this and that, when the fact is she's just a passionate black girl. So it was important for me to show these two young women who are so different, but they both have powerful voices and they both use their voices in powerful ways.
So with both of your books, you focus a lot on activism with these young black women. Why is that important for you to bring that up in your novels?
You know, it's really important for me because I think of the young people who are reading my books. I often say, you know, the kids I write for today are going to be politicians with Twitter accounts tomorrow. I take that seriously, you know. I think that if they read these books now and that they find their activism now, hopefully they will be greater people later. So it's important for me to empower them. It's important for me to show them that it can start with them. They can make change in their own worlds that can in turn help change the world. So I look at my books as hopefully being investments in the future. So that when I'm in a retirement home, I can be like, you know what, I think everything's going to be all right.
So The Hate You Give was made into a film last year. What was that experience like, seeing that story on the big screen?
That was surreal. I still tear up when I watch it. You know, I have like 3 copies of the Blu-ray at home right now, and like the digital and all of that, and I still get emotional every time I watch it. It's surreal. And I remember my first day on set, I couldn't believe that all of these people had come together to bring my words to life. So it's humbling too in that sense. And also it shows me what's possible, and I hope that it shows my readers what's possible. You know, I never expected any of this to happen to me, but it did. So they can do even greater.
And now On the Come Up is also going to be made into a film?
Yes.
So who are the actors that you would love to cast?
Oh,
you had your pick.
Now see, I'm going to have to do this as the author and not the producer, because I'm a producer on the Come Up. So these are my Angie the author picks, not Angie the producer picks, so I won't get in trouble. I would love, because I love her, I would love for Taraji P. Henson to be in this movie. I love Taraji. Like, I've been a fan of Taraji since Baby Boy. You know, Jody, you know, I've been a fan since then. But I love her because not only is she such a great actress, but she's such an empowered woman, and she empowers other women. And I think if nothing else, that energy on set would be amazing. So I think she would bring it to this movie. And, you know, I want to see some female rappers make appearances in the movie. You know, this is a movie about a young woman who's a rapper. I want to put as much spotlight on them. So Cardi, I would love for you to make an appearance. You know, Missy, Nikki, I can keep y'all separated on set. You know, we don't have to worry about any drama. But I would love as many women in hip hop to make appearances in this, so that we can say that they're here, they're making themselves heard, and they inspired this generation. So let's inspire more generations.
Okay, great. And so you're from Jackson, Mississippi. We're actually just talking about like catfish restaurants.
Yeah.
Right. Why is it important for you that you stay there, that you rep for that part of the country so much?
Well, you know, it's a struggle, I can't lie. But the reason that I've stayed as long as I've stayed is because I want to be there so that the kids in Jackson can see someone who looks like them, who's around them, who's doing something positive and doing something on a big scale, you know. I want them to come into the grocery store and see, oh, that's Angie. She wrote that book. So that means somebody that's like me did that. I can do even better than that. You know, it's kind of like what Nelson Mandela used to say. He always made it his his priority to shake people's hands because he wanted them to touch him and know what's possible. So that's been my reason for staying, so that those kids there can know what's possible.
Okay. And so this book is about hip-hop, and you said that you used to spit some rhymes back in the day. Do you remember any verses?
Oh.
Spit? I know you're a little bit on the spot, but...
You know, I do remember one that I came up with, and it's just the hook of it. I remember the hook. Okay. And so it was like, my hustle, my grind. I'm all about getting mine. Benjamin's papers. I'm talking about dollar signs. I wish somebody would try to stop my flow. I wish somebody would try to stop my show. My hustle, my grind. I remember that.
And kudos. That's it. You brought it on the spot. Angie, thank you so much for joining us. On the Come Up is available now. Up next, more AM to DM.